Hello everyone and welcome to the Paint and Picnic virtual workshop. Thank you guys so much for coming along with us. We absolutely love you, and it's been almost a full year since we started our little workshop, so we thank you guys for tagging along with us if you've been with us since the beginning, and if you're new here, welcome. Today we are going to be painting the coolest sugar skull with a whole bunch of candles in honor of the Dia de los Muertos festival here in Corpus Christi, Texas. As you can see, we are showing off all the different paints we're going to be using. Don't worry if we're going too fast with that. We're going to be leaving all of the paints in the caption below this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're going to need is a pencil. Just a regular pencil will do, or an art pencil if you'd like. We're going to be starting in the portrait style, and then we're just going to be starting to the left-hand side of our canvas, making this very, very light squiggle mark, 2 fingers in between, and then we're going to be making a very fat J. From there, we're going to connect the 2 lines with an arch, and this is going to start the top of our skull. From there, we're going to start doing the jawline, and we're going to go ahead and make a right style J, and then another backwards J connecting the 2, adding this little triangular piece to create a jawline. From there, we're going to make an upside down heart in the middle of our first 2 markings, and this is just going to start our nose. From there, we're going to make 2 circles just under our upside down heart, and this is going to start our teeth. Mirroring those, we're going to make 2 more underneath, and then we're going to make 2 more to the right, and then 2 more to the left. Adding 4 more of these, making them just a little bit smaller as we go, creating that teeth look. From there, we're going to create a line in between all of our teeth and extend our teeth down to make the line. And this is just going to create that skull look of, you know, those empty pearly whites. And we will be filling these in later with paint, so don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. We're going to be going back over that. So from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be making our eyes. Now, same thing with these circles. We're going to be kind of adjusting. So if it looks a little weird at first, that's fine. And you can kind of play around with it if you want to make them bigger or smaller. After that, we're going to be adding 3 lines up the nose with a cross in the middle of the eyes. And then this is going to start our middle marking for this really, really cool webbed pattern we're going to be doing across the top of the head. So what we're doing here is we're just creating that V, and then we're going to make several more lines connecting the V's. So we're going to end up with 4 separate web patterns, and then we're just going to connect all of the lines with these sharp little webs. And as you can see, it looks really cool. And you can add more or less here. I stopped about midway up. From there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create that flower across the jaw. And we're adding in all of our little detail lines now. So I'm creating this really nice leaf coming off. And then we're going to go back down past the jawline. And we're just creating that jaw shape. From there, we're going to go up to the eyes, and we're going to create these scalpels, and this is just going to give us a little bit of an outline for where we're going to be putting our beautiful sugar skull markings later. From there, we're going to go across the jawline again, just under the cheekbones, adding in those little detail marks. After that, we're going to be adding in our other flowers. So starting right on the edge of where the temples would be, we're going to be making these really, really pretty flowers. And we're just doing this with a very, very basic swirling motion. From there, we're adding our swirls across. And then we're going to go back through and add our dotted detail work, which we'll be coloring in all sorts of really beautiful colors later. So it will have some more definition once we go back through with the painting. Adding a couple more of those little dot details. This is also when we can kind of clean up the shape of our skull if we want, you know, things to be a little bit more rounded, maybe a little bit more edge. Just depends on the type of look that you're going for. And I'm adding in all of our little detail lines on our flowers and making sure that anything that feels like it's missing. And you can kind of play around with this if you want to make your own little designs, or maybe you want to add your own favorite symbol, like maybe you want to put stars on it, or you want to put other flowers on it, or maybe you want to put some little spiders. You know, whatever you want to do, you can kind of play around with it here. From there, we're going to start just 4 inches to the right-hand side of our skull, and we're going to be making our first candle. Now, this is the first of many candles, so don't make it too big. We want to be able to play with our spacing. And we're just going about 1/4 of the way down from the top of our skull, creating this cone shape. From there, we're going to create a very small candle to the left-hand side of our medium-sized candle. And it's okay if you mess up, you can kind of wipe it away and reshape. From there, we're going to be going to the right-hand side of our candle. See, I'm just adding in a couple little detail marks. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to go in here. Sorry guys, it's going to be to the left-hand side right here. Right in the middle of our candle. As you can see, I'm just creating that same cylinder shape. We're going to be going back through again and cleaning up with the paint later. Just kind of straightening out my lines, creating their own details. All right, and now we're going to be working on the right-hand side of our candle. So this is going to be a really, really tall, skinny candle. We don't want it to take up the entire page. We just want it to kind of give a little bit more dimension and more height. And I feel like if you've ever been to like a festival, they have all of these different shaped candles just like this on and around the ofrendas. So I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I think it just adds quite a bit more to the piece. So this is what it should look like when you're done. If you want, you can clean it up a little bit. From there, we're going to be going in with this lighter white color, and we're just going to be very, very lightly starting around the eyes. We don't want this paint to completely cover up our pencil marks because we're going to be using that as a guide later. So we're just very, very lightly going across our canvas, painting it very evenly, making sure that we're not, like I said, completely covering up our pencil marks, and starting from the darker tones, working into our lighter tones. As you can see, I did quite take my time with this, so I recommend doing the same, just very carefully going through, covering all of the pieces of the skull. You're going to want to avoid the eyes, you're going to want to avoid the teeth because we're going to be painting those different colors later, but just all of the rest of the skull, we want that really, really light color, and as you can see, I've sped it up here. From there, we're going to be going in with this very bright pink color, and we're going to be starting at the bottom of the chin, and we're going to be doing our flowers. So we have this flower, obviously, and then we also have 2 more flowers, and then we're going to do some of our dotted accent marks with this pink color. So then we're going to move up here to the top piece of the flower, and then we're going to move to our right-hand side flower. And I'm just very, very lightly using my brush to make these circle marks. And then we're going to go through and add our spotted detail. Now what I've done is I've done the top of the temple and the inside of the eye. You can switch this up if you want to, and you can also switch up the colors if you want to. I picked these really bright, vibrant colors because that's what I think of when I think of these type of festivals. But if you want to do it a darker color or more saturated, you want to play around with the yellows and the greens, you can. I just wanted to go for a more traditional feel. From there, we're going to be going in with our yellow, and we're going to be centering in our flowers. And we're doing these 2 top flowers, and then obviously our bottom chin flower. We're also going to be adding in accent marks to the sides of our painting, and I'm just kind of filling in where it feels natural. I didn't really have like a pattern or plan with this. So from there, we're going to go in with the orange. We're going to dot around the eyes and do our swirls. After that, we're going to go in this really beautiful red color. It's like a rouge. And this is where we're going to be doing our spider web. So I'm just starting outlining that top V like I did when we first drew it. And then adding in our extra line marks. I'm just being very careful to try to keep this as straight as I can. And also the lines pretty thin because we want to be able to see these little lined detail work that we're doing. And as you can see, I'm just very quickly putting them in. It should look about like this when you're done. From there, we're going to use that same rouge color, and we're going to do some of our dotted accent marks, and then we're also going to be outlining our cheekbones and that bottom part of our jawline, just creating all of our darker tones with this rouge color. Okay, and from there, we're going to be going in with this really beautiful blue. It's a very bright blue. It's literally called sky blue. That's how bright it is. And I'm just adding in my detail marks, kind of creating this really beautiful contrast. And I'm also going to be doing that cross that we made in between the eyes. So as you can see, I'm just creating the smallest little cross. Once again, trying to make sure that we keep those lines good and crisp and small. Adding in a couple more of those spotted detail works. And it's coming along. I think it's starting to look really cute. Okay, and as you can see, just going along the cheekbones a little bit. Perfect. From there, we're going to be going in this really beautiful green, and we're just going to be doing the eyes, the nose, and the very sides of the jaw. After that, we're going to be going in with white, and we're going to start into our teeth. Now, I've used kind of a flat brush, but you can use any brush that you want. But the important part is that you're kind of creating that smooth, teethy feel. So I'm just pulling down with my brush, creating those little bit of longer strokes and leaving a little bit of my paint to create that texture. And we're going to go in and we're going to be reshaping this later, but we just want to keep that a white color. After that, like I said, we're going in with this darker color and we're cleaning it up. So I'm just very carefully outlining each tooth to make it look like this is, you know, a part of the skull, and it just creates more definition on the front part and makes it so that those teeth look, you know, a little bit more realistic. You can see I'm kind of taking my time with it, going through each and every one, starting on the top and then working my way to the bottom. And this is what it should look like once you're done. Beautiful. And then we're going to move on to our candles. So from here, we're going to go in with our white and that titanium color. And we're just going to mix it even parts and create this really beautiful light candle-y color. You know, that color that candles have. And from there, after we do our medium candle, we're going to be adding a little bit more of that darker color. As you can see, I'm just kind of taking my time here. All right, perfect. And here's that darker titanium color I was talking about. We're just going to add a little bit more of that. And then we're going to start in on our taller candle. And this is just going to create this illusion that these candles all are in this same shade range, but they're all different candles. And that's a really easy way of creating definition within your painting without having to really try. So we're just adding more titanium each time. Like I said, now I'm starting into this smaller candle, and then we'll add that titanium one more time to that same base paint, creating this range of candles as we go through. And this is what it should look like when you're done. After that, we're going to go in with the orange and the yellow that we used from our skull. And we're going to mix them even parts. And this is going to become the flames for our candles. As you can see, I'm just very carefully outlining the previous flames that we had done from earlier. Once it's dry, we're going to be going in with a Sharpie marker and just creating a little bit more detail work. Starting on our skull, we're going to outline the top of the skull and also the bottom jaw, a little bit of our cheekbones, and then just the tiniest parts of our nose and the tops of the eyes. From there, we're going to move over and we're going to just very lightly add a little bit of detail work to our candles. As you can see, I'm just very lightly going across the tops, creating that definition, and then down the sides of our tallest candle. From there, we're just adding a little bit of these little smoke marks and any other little details that feel right. I'm adding, a couple of things to the candle, and that's what it looks like when we're done. Thank you guys so much for painting with us. Let us know if this is something that you liked, and we can't wait for you to paint with us again soon.